This is Comcast Local Edition. When our guest tells me that her snake has not been fed in a week and it's looking at me, I started to get nervous. Dawn Manley is here, and she has a gopher snake with her. And this animal is quite common in the East Bay, isn't it? Around the Bay Area, I guess.
Yeah, this is one of the most common snakes in the Bay Area. The gopher snake and the king snakes. And these snakes are actually often confused with rattlesnakes.
I was about to say that their markings are not that dissimilar.
They aren't.
A rattlesnake.
They have the same dark type markings on their backs that rattlesnakes do. However, the difference...
these are non-poisonous snakes.
Correct. These snakes are not venomous.
And they're after mice and small critters like that?
They're going to eat mice, gophers, which is where they get their name, rats, lizards, other snakes.
Sounds like a great diet to me. Looking at low carb, actually.
Yeah, and good for your backyard.
Now, the reason that they can eat a larger animal like that, do their jaws dislocate? Is that how they're able to swallow things?
Yeah, technically that is what happens, and they open their mouth extremely wide and can swallow something much larger than their head.
And then it will keep that animal in their innards for what? 10 days or a week?
It usually takes, depending on the snake's in the museum, it usually takes them about a week or so to process their food.
Process their food, yeah. So, and then, do they have to be fed again right away, or does that? We
feed them about once every other week. And snakes in the wild probably don't even get fed, don't find food that often.
Yeah, that's probably a high caloric diet if you get fed every week.
So these snakes are very well fed.
Now, the reason you have these animals in the Lindsay Museum is because they can't go in the outdoors, or is that right?
You're right. The animals on exhibit at the museum are non-releasable due to some kind of physical or psychological injury.
And this snake has psychological problems, or what?
Pretty much. There's physically nothing wrong with this snake. However, he was kept as a pet for an extended period of time.
I see.
And so what happens is when you take an animal out of the wild, out of its niche, and you keep it, it loses not only its food source, but any mating partners it would have.
It's a lonely life.
Yeah, it's like if you were taken out of your job suddenly and then dropped back in it 3 years later, your job wouldn't be there, your house wouldn't be there. So
right, and my wife wouldn't be there.
Probably not.
At the same time, the feel of the snake is very much like a belt. I mean, I guess there are belts that are made out of this kind of skin and stuff. Are these protected in any way? I mean, they do serve a very valuable purpose in nature.
They do.
But some people are so afraid of them they might kill them indiscriminately, or what?
Right. There's a lot of fear about snakes due to the way you were brought up or movies and stuff. But they're actually very beneficial to have in the environment. They eat all the rodents and the pests in your yard. Right,
and they keep moving. That's the one. My wife is from New Zealand, and those of you who are watching may know that in New Zealand there are no snakes. So she would be hanging on the lights right now if you had this in your hand like that.
Part of this snake's function now at the museum is to be an ambassador for a species and basically to educate people about what's really true about snakes.
Okay, and I know a lot of young people come to the Lindsay Museum. I've been there when they've taken tours. They learn a lot there, don't they?
They do, and they get to touch the snake, which helps a lot. Even some adults, they learn, they were afraid of snakes, and when they leave, they're not anymore. It's hard because snakes, they don't blink, they don't make noise, and they're not furry, so it's hard for people to relate to them.
That's true. So. And so anyway, the Lindsay Museum in Walnut Creek is a place to go and see these animals. Thank you very much, Dawn, for being here. And I don't want to see a furry snake. That would be too much. It's Comcast Local Edition. I'm Jack Hansen. Thank you for watching.